お帰りなさいませ。
Well, that was a lot. This is another banger episode. I might be one of those biased YouTubers who just think every episode's good because I'm being thoroughly entertained. But I mean, that's all you can really ask from your media. Plus, I didn't really pick any of the shows that have low ratings right now, huh? But yes, no. So we get the terrorist guy missing Vivy, and then Antonio pulling his Dioda thing. Antonio da. And then again, back in the opening, we get back to the robots having no skin on them, which I thought was a interesting thing. The opening changes a little bit. I have not done like a full comprehension of the opening. I don't think I will because I think I'm too lazy for that. But I'm going to pay attention to the fact that in this specific episode where we end up seeing another character back again, we go back to an AI without their skin on. So I think that's an interesting note. Turns out he overwritten Ophelia, so he put his own consciousness into Ophelia. So I hope I wasn't just simping for Antonio for the last episode. What was his? And we get this kind of mirror version of Matsumoto, an AI who takes his mission so importantly that he will trample over everything, even the things he finds most important, in order to reach the goal. And this is kind of the difference between just being a crummy AI or being sentient in a sense, right? In this instance, he wants to make sure that Ophelia's song is at its maximum, right? That's what we get from the start of this episode. Then we get to our robot fights. The character that almost seemed like Dio using a stand or his robot body in order to fight for him, I just thought was funny. I don't really know much about JoJo's, but I think I'm pretty accurate on that one. Maybe if not, don't cancel me. We also see that the terrorist guy waited 40 years in order to capture Vivy like the way he is now. He's also an AI, and he has now become the enemy in which he hated so much AI talk, and now he's won right now, and he's going to try to force Vivy back out of Diva, and he says he's going to delete all her programming. So all her personal programming is going to be gone, and he believes Matsumoto cannot undo it. She's just going to, at a certain amount of time, all her new AI is going to go, and Vivy will be back. He also goes into why he was so angry and why he went the steps he did in his life after his teacher died. They decided to have a funeral for him, and yes, they did mourn like people, but the jacked up part is that they started playing his last moments like a security tape. Like, this is like if some guy died in a war, and then we just went, okay, guys, let's see what his last thoughts were. And we played it out loud for people to see, especially the people he saved, which they did. We also can see he lost his arm, so he was already being integrated with AI in a sense, or at least robotics or prosthetics. The first time we saw him, because I believe we saw him with both arms, right? Which means one of those arms are not his. One of those arms are a prosthetic. So, yes. And Vivy's words seem to have re-sparked the feelings of his old sensei, or at least like kind of brought him to life in his mind, which seemed to have haunt him, which caused him to hate Vivy more and more, which makes way more sense than him hating her just because AI, she saved my life, but AI. This makes more sense because, freak, you reminded me of my darn sensei. Screw you, go die. That kind of makes more sense. Anyways, so we see that Matsumoto saves Vivy and acts as, she's still the same person, but after she's been, I don't know if it's chipped or whatever, the programmed, hacked, whatever the word you would use for that, we can see that she can see Vivy in the corner of her mind. So, like, this kind of reminded me a bit of Chobits. Spoilers for Chobits. Just skip around if you haven't seen Chobits. Oh, I guess I'm not going to go into it. Never mind. One of the characters has a deep dive. If you've seen Chobits, it's an old anime. You probably know what I'm talking about with the mental imagery. That's about it. I'll just save there, because I think everybody who's watched Chobits should know what I'm talking about. Antonio also does know Kakitani, so they are also in league together. They are all fighting at the same time. We get like these sick tag team battles, and like the fights in this one were so good. Some of the animation style gets a little weird. That's just different artists taking over for different reigns. So as an artist myself, I'm not too bothered by it. Also, Antonio mocks Matsumoto for following his goal and calling him a weak AI for being so apparent to his goal. But then the irony there is Antonio was so on to his own goal that he got rid of the one person he cared about most in order to take over her body just to get her to sing better. Like, he's talking to himself, obviously, while looking at Matsumoto. He sees Matsumoto as a mirror of himself. So, Diva, as she's fighting Kakitani, is mockingly telling him, what did you want me to do? Do you want me to give you the same words as Vivy? Is that going to make you happy? Or your teacher? Do you want me to say that to you? And he just keeps having like emotional spasms, like, shut up! And he throws a knife at him, and she like dodges it super fast. Again, you keep remembering these people are AI very fast, right? And so, we get the fact that Antonio is not happy with the fact that everybody is so content with the way I see it, right? So I'm gonna kind of reword his words. Okay, it sounds like he's not content with the fact that people are okay with a copy version of Ophelia, somebody who could never reach the blessed singing he believes she has. And now that he has taken over the reins for her, he is baffled. He's also baffled by the fact that people don't seem to think like he does. He thinks in a way where people shouldn't be happy with him or be happy with Ophelia till they've reached their max potential. He does not believe that they should get any reward or praise until they have reached the pinnacle, because he knows there's so much further she can go to, right? And as he is dying after Matsumoto kicks his butt, he reaches out to Ophelia and says, no, I actually just wanted to be, I just wanted you to sing for me. And ironically, what she wanted to do most was to sing for you, you moron. So, as a person with a not as far mindset as Antonio, but a similar mindset to Antonio when it comes to my art, this is a fallacy. Like, it's 100%, or maybe not fallacy is a word. Let me just explain my thoughts when I think about this, right? When I see somebody talk the way he does, talk similar to the way I do, which is I don't like praise until I feel like I'm at my maximum potential of anything. To me, getting any compliment or anything between those stages can sometimes feel hollow. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me. Like, I'm very thankful for it. I'm glad someone went out of their way to let me know that they are so moved or motivated by something I did that it meant something to them. That's very nice. But, like, to rekindle the spark or to get me to push as an artist, I only feel to my own sense that I need to be pushing further. It's the drive to get further. It's the drive for better potential. It's the drive to see how far your potential can go that pushes me. So everything else doesn't really mean much. However, as I've come to learn from growing up, is just because I think that way doesn't mean that's right. Okay? A lot of people will push themselves to the bone, and as you can see here, push other people to the bone in order to reach some potential that they might not even be happy with. Like, she would seem to be way happier just singing with her robot pal. It seems like you guys were almost romantically involved at this point. Mildly, you get the point. You got the allergy, you know what I'm talking about. Or maybe not. Maybe you guys saw like again, in the parental relationship or something. To me, it all seemed romantic, but I know if I say that, some person's going to be like, oh, no, I didn't see it that way, so I'm just leaving that out there just in case you do. But in this regard, he gave away the one thing he had, and the one thing that probably would have helped his programming had he chose a different path for the program he had. He went for immediate results quickly, which is, she can't do it, I'm going to do it. Which won't work, you know? You have to allow other people to take their time in their process to get somewhere. If he was really that considerate or really cared that much, and that was really the big concern, he could have had her go talk to more famous singers like they already did. And that was how Diva gave some of her opinion on how to keep singing or try to put your voice into it. There are other methods of getting her to sing better than not, or be a part of her song. Maybe that would motivate her a bit more. Like, I know it's the whole AI thing, so maybe he's gonna go for fastest results, but also being an AI can make the argument that because he can process all the stuff I've already said a bit faster than I can, then he should have took one of these routes. He chose a route that wasn't any good, which again, we're getting back to AIs and souls. Given multiple routes, these AI are now allowed to choose which one they think has the best results, which is something humans do. These are all estimates. Like, we are still, like, as humans, we are still almost basically like fleshy robots. Like, we need to get to our goal, all right? You can actively choose to stay away from your goal, but you will die doing so. You will die either inside mentally, you will die physically, and then you're dead in both ends, right? So I guess being able to see myself in a character in some sense frustrates me a little bit because I can tell, but it's also a good reminder to keep yourself from overworking yourself. And I've tried my best just not even to have people involved, just for the sake that I don't do something like this. Now, this is way far of an example, you know, but pushing people too hard where they can't feel like they're comfortable in the way that they are, or having to talk to people and having to understand the fact that they don't want to go so much further. Okay, sorry for the tangent. I'll go back to it later. Let me know if you're okay with my tangents. I appreciate it if you let me know. Anyways, so ironically, after those two are dead, Kakitani is now technically, as he says it himself, the bridge between AI and humans. He really became the thing he hated the most, which is very, very funny. But at the same time, mildly the thing that he kind of wanted. He clearly liked or loved his teacher, like as a fatherly figure there. Like, so in a way, he became what he wanted. He wanted to emulate his teacher. However, he didn't emulate his teacher's actions. So he could have just became the perfect AI, piano robot at this point. Like, he really could just do that. He could just go download that, play forever, and then he'd have his thing. Or he could have just joined Vivy in playing songs and pushed on his teacher's programming, like he could carry on his will in a sense, but he didn't. He chose to go for vengeance, and now he's dead. He also tells Vivy, don't forget that you're the reason why because you existed, some humans had to suffer, which you would think would also mess up her programming a bit, since it did kind of in the first one. But it seems that it seems like old Vivy was so traumatized by her actions, she chose to malfunction in a sense, because as we see here, Diva kind of gets a similar scenario where a human dies because of her actions, but she's okay. She doesn't completely trip out. And Vivy's still there, which is the other reason why I would think it's not like Vivy malfunctioned to the point she couldn't work. It seems like Vivy ran away. So that's also another interesting note. Diva only has 5 minutes left as she asks, did you save Ophelia? Matsumoto goes, yeah, I saved her. And we go back to the image of both of them on the ground, which I was right about the opening, mind you. Or the timeline opening, with the fact that she and it looked like another body was on the ground. She just didn't jump off the roof, but very similar or exact death pose from when she did jump off the roof. And so now Diva is singing her last song. She's really putting her heart into it. And you can kind of, I don't know if it's just the effects, but it does feel like she's singing with more passion. I don't know if that makes any sense. I feel like it's probably just a placebo effect because they've said it. I think so. But I wonder, right? I wonder. Because for me, it's like, well, what do you do to your singing to make your singing feel more passionate? As a non-singer, I have no idea. Like, I couldn't tell you the difference. But I do know I listened to a lot of this music from Guilty Gear recently because it makes me feel passionate. So maybe for me, it's like going crazy in your own music, just letting out all your feelings. So it's a very interesting note. What do you guys think? What do you think the answer is? Because I didn't really completely understand it. And so she's talking to herself literally. She's telling Vivy a lot of the stuff that, like basically how you would find your heart in your song, how you would really get to this answer. And it's ironic that Vivy is learning this answer from herself. I feel like it's very nice to see this analogy, or maybe not analogy, I think I'm thinking too many big words. It's cool to see the fact that somebody can get their own answer from themselves. In this same body lies the potential to become a star, but Vivy just can't see it. And I think at all points with most people, even as I just described myself in my art earlier, you always have the potential to go somewhere. The question is, can you visualize it? Can you see it? Will you look at it? Will you work hard for it? And this is the difference between Vivy and Diva at the moment. Their view on themselves. She's complimenting her singing. She's saying, you see how perfect it is at the moment. And it's not like a cockiness. It's that she's happy with what she's doing. She's doing it for her. I can't even say doing it for herself. It's very strange. What do you think the answer is? Please let me know. Especially as an artist, and especially with my mindset, as you guys saw earlier. It's a little jacked up for myself. So when I read this, I see this with my own artwork as well. I see it with this channel. I see it with my Genshin channel. What am I doing? How far am I pushing this? Like even today, I did like an echidna artwork, and people seem really happy about it, and I still have the mindset of this could be better. So, I don't know. What is the answer for you people? I feel like a lot of you would probably have a better, or you might have something that you might have understood out of it, and I might want to hear it. So, Vivy gets the answer for herself, and she's back in her old body, but now in a higher place. So isn't that interesting? We kind of technically lost 2 sisters today. We didn't really lose 1 sister. We lost both Diva, and we also lost Ophelia. It's quite interesting, unless they can salvage Ophelia. I'm surprised that she didn't really get physically injured. She got hacked, but I'm surprised she died. No, but because Vivy's probably not going to remember, Matsumoto's going to he's going to be able to scapegoat it. Also, Matsumoto, is he going to follow his programming, or does he have some weird obsession with Vivy? Is this in a similar light to Antonio and Ophelia, which he, as he says himself, he was about to do all this stuff to his partner the same way that he did, just hack her and just do whatever he wants to get her to, go to her full completion. But he says no, he enjoys, or his mission is to work with his partner. But at the same time, he seems to not really care about her goals in a sense. Like, he's not completely there either, as he lies about Ophelia. It could just be for comfort, which is completely fine if you guys want to make that argument. But I just think he didn't, I guess in a sense, he did start off going for her route, which was save Ophelia peacefully and talk it out with her. Try to solve her problem. So I guess I'll give it to him this episode, but I'm still very suspicious of him, so just letting you know. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. These ones have been a bit longer because I did not put my timer on, but there was just a lot more to say with these last episodes. Let me know your opinion down below, and I'll catch you later. Peace.